Alright guys, welcome back. We are watching ReZero Season 2, Episode 7. Is my Mac working? Yeah, it is. Okay. I had to like unplug it and replug it in. It wasn't working earlier. Anyway, last time well, a bunch of shit happened. We went back to the mansion. We're back in the thick of it, you know, like we got a whole bunch of stuff to figure out. I don't know. We gotta talk to Betty. Are we gonna like ask Betty or tell Betty that she can ask us the question? It seems like a really, man, whole thing, I guess. But if I had to guess, if my prediction will probably be correct, Subaru's gonna die again, and and I don't know, we're gonna do something. So I guess we'll see. All this stuff about Frederica is really like, I don't know. It's all Rosewall. I hate Rosewall. That's all. Okay. We're here watching episode 7 of season 2. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Oh. Okay. I'm surprised he wants to be let out. It will just be certain death. But sure, yeah, yeah. Oh, great. So, oh, his hand. So, Betty, what's up? Like, what are we. Yeah, that's not a very good reason. Yeah, how about all the people who just died? You think? She's always had, like, an attitude kinda like this, right? But yeah, but she did save him before, right? The contract from, all that time ago. It's not her fault. I mean, it's not like it's her fault, but. Hmm. Oh. But why? What's special about Subaru, right? Like, why? Like, I mean, was she just unable to help everyone? I just don't understand, you know? Oh. Yeah. God, what was it called again? I'm forgetting the word they used for it. Okay. I mean, there was the weird flashback with her and Pedal Geese, right? Hmm. Oh, it's not. Okay. Oh, well, he's just saying that. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been commanded to answer that question. What is written in that book? Yeah, so what is that why? Man, yeah, why do anything then? Why live a life at all if everything is just in this book? I don't. Well, that's clearly not. That can't be right. Yeah, the gospel. Really? Wow. The meaning of your life. Oh, I guess she is a spirit, so maybe I. But is that really? No way, right? No, no. No. She's just saying that, right? Like, sure, right? But obviously there's meaning in it beyond it just being written in the book, right? You know what I mean? Like, wow. She wants to separate herself from it so much. Mother. Interesting. No, because she's always been like this, right? Wanting to separate herself from everyone else and be so. And she's using the book as like an excuse for that, essentially, right? But like, why? Why does she feel like this? Why does she think that she has to do everything in accordance with the gospel? Man, is Elsa even gonna do anything to her, I wonder? Is that her job here, or is it just to kill Subaru? Yeah, and doesn't do anything to stop. But obviously, she's so hurt by it, right? Like, the book. No, the book. Okay, 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 okay. She has some reason to fear acting on her own and, like, emotions in general, maybe, right? She's saying that everything she's ever done is all because of the book and it meant nothing to her, right? So she has some reason to want to view the world like that, right? Some kind of emotional reason. God, this is a rough situation to wake up in every time. It's oh God, it has to be so hard to put himself back in this situation every time with Amelia right there, who needs him in the moment every time. Okay, 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 yeah. God, it's not your fault. Okay, handling it better this time, I think. But what are you going to do, Subaru? Where is Puck? Where is Puck? Hmm. He's really got to think. Yeah. If you say so. A little bit, probably. Could auto be the clue to this? Yet again, just like last time. Yeah. Hmm. I mean, it's just like always, right? Return by Death always ends up doing this, right? It's hard to have a genuine emotional reaction to a situation over and over again when he's gonna keep seeing it over and over, you know? Sure, you can, I guess, but you don't want the rationality to go to being detached. Sure, yeah. Ooh, what's up, Garfield? We also need to talk to you. What do you mean last time, Subaru? You can't just be saying things like this. Yeah, well, yeah, that is kind of the whole thing, right? That's not bad advice though. Like, hmm. Okay. So we aren't leaving immediately, I guess. Well, maybe we are. He did leave the next morning anyway, but it's not like it helps if Elsa's just waiting to spring the trap. It's not like it matters how early we leave, I guess. It's not even a matter of beating the clock. It's just, what do we do about Elsa? Fair enough, I guess. Oh, she left. How did she leave? Yeah, exactly. So how did she get out of the sanctuary? So did Frederica pass the trial or something? Hmm. But no, passing the trial is supposed to free the whole sanctuary, right? Isn't that the idea behind it? Hmm. What are we doing out here? Oh, the yeah. Okay. Well, she was wearing this white dress when he saw her after he got teleported the first time, right? Yeah, yeah. Well, it would be useful information, yeah. And I don't think they want him to do that, right? They want they want the sanctuary freed in general, right? But then again, I guess if you could get everyone out anyway. Sure. Right. Maybe it's important for Amelia to go through it though, right? Like maybe that might be the whole thing, you know? Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, how's that any different from running from it? I mean, yeah, yeah. Maybe now is the time. Maybe she should face it, right? Okay. Hmm. Thank you. That's a really helpful analogy. Interesting. No convenient path to escape. I think there's more meaning behind that than oh, the conditions. They said something kind of like this before, right? About just being mixed blood wasn't all. Okay. What is she, a quarter or something? Yeah. Ah. Okay. 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 God, but they look so similar. Interesting. Yeah, she better not come back here. Yeah. Ooh. I was gonna say, I wonder if he himself feels abandoned too, of course, right? Hmm. I wonder if the being qualified for being able to do the trial is the same, or if she could do the trial. No escape route. Okay. Not a good idea. I just don't think that's gonna work. I don't think that's a good idea at all. Okay, but I think the point of all of this is for Amelia to do it, right? I don't think we're gonna let that happen, right? I don't think Rosewall's gonna let that happen. But also, you're stealing it from Amelia, right? Like this not good. I don't think we should do this, right? Hmm. Okay. Oh. Okay. Sure. That's time to die. That was a pretty short one, huh? Interesting. Is okay. That's the same name she used before, right? It was Ryuzu, but oh, he's not dead. But are we in the trial place? Or are we just in the dungeon? So why did they do this? Is is this a ooh? What is this a reaction to from what he said? Oh, yo, yeah. Oh God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it just seems like some crazy plot, right? It's gotta be. Oh, and that's just gonna make it harder and harder every time to do anything. Hmm. It's just like with Rim, right? It's gonna trust him less and less every time by default. Yeah, yeah. It's like from his point of view, it's like the Subaru is the perfect, I don't know, deceptor, you know? Ah. Oh God. Oh no. Oh Jesus Christ. Ooh. Oh, what a thing to say. Very interesting. Because obviously it is true that Subaru does know a whole bunch more than all these characters and is planning stuff in a sense, right? But, oh man. Oh God. Oh, Ram. Yeah, using our. Yeah, using the thing. He's gonna try and convince them he's dead, yeah. Interesting thing, of course. If Roswell knows about Return by Death, he's gonna know Subaru's not dead then, right? Oh, because, of course, Oto knew that Subaru walked up with them last time he was seen. Can't tell if that was a threat or a bribe. Hmm. Can't you stand up? Or are you tied to the floor somehow? Ah, yeah. Sure. Okay. I guess you can just sit around and wait it out. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Or she's telling herself that. I'm just not sure. I feel like it doesn't make sense with everything, right? Because she's done different things in different lives, right? And different timelines. So, hmm. And different things have happened in different timelines, right? And we've seen Betty's behavior change based off that. So it can't just be purely entirely from the gospel, unless the gospel accounts for different timelines. Oh, hi, Ryuzu. Oh god, they're feeding him. But why would they keep him alive rather than kill him? Unless they do know about Return by Death too. That maybe that's too far to say, right? That might be too much of an assumption. God, this is fucking horrifying. Like, Yeah, just have to kill yourself somehow. Fuck. Like, Jesus Christ. Just like the ultimate torture for him, right? Like, no, I mean, I guess, Garfield said why they want to keep him alive, but. Oh, okay. Oto found him. Thank fuck. Hey, Oto, can you kill me, please, real quick? He's not. Well, might as well. How many days has it been? How long has it been? Right? Like, yeah, yeah. So it's not. It hasn't even been further than before, has it? Or has it? I don't remember the timeline exactly. Okay. Mm-hmm. I can't blame her. Oh, yeah. Without your support, because that's what she really needs, right? Sure. I guess seems logical. Hmm. Yeah, I believe in her though. I think she can do it, right? What she really needs is the support of other people, I think. What? What? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, the glowing stone. Well, it wasn't the same glowing stone that you might be thinking of. Okay. Okay. I suppose. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you aren't thinking that now. What do you mean? Why wouldn't he? I know, it's not. What are you talking about? Okay, like Super, come on, man. Yeah, you got a buddy, you got a friend. Like, come on, stress-free friendship. Like, seems good to me, right? I guess Subaru kind of hasn't had one of these, you know? Like, sure. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, for buddies. Come on, man. Something I hadn't really thought about with Subaru, right? But no, it makes sense. It makes sense. I said, yeah, like Subaru, this looks bad, man. Come on. I know, no, Subaru, stop, man. Come on. You have a friend. Sure. Yeah, yeah. Because I don't know, it makes so much sense, right? Subaru does always think everyone has ulterior motives, that he's always trying to buy all this crazy shit, right? And his relationship with Amelia is close, right? But you can't really call it just a friendship, right? It's not that simple, right? Same with Rem, same with Rem, same with everyone, you know? But he is Oto. Perfect. Friend. Exactly. No, I actually love that so much. That's so good. It's something I hadn't really thought about, you know? But no, it makes so much sense. Subaru hasn't had just like a stress-free, normal friendship in this world, you know? But yeah, Oto is like perfect, right? He doesn't there's no crazy shit going on with him. He's just our buddy. Like, no, that's great. I love that. I love that. Oh, no, it's just what we need. No, it's great. Someone he can just trust and rely on just as a friend, right? That's insane, you know? Someone he doesn't have to feel like he's like personally responsible for, you know? Like, man. Hmm. Okay, this was a good episode. This was a good episode. I definitely a lot of stuff to think about. Um, especially with Beatrice. At this point, I'm more sure than ever that where we're going with this whole trial thing with Amelia is that she is going to overcome her past. She hasn't done it yet, and I don't think the answer is going to be she keeps trying over and over and over again. She eventually gets it. I think she needs support from people around her, maybe, right? She needs something, right? But she can do it. Okay. Ooh, a very reliable helper. Who could that be? Oh, hi. Hi, Ram. Sure, if you say so. I believe you. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh God, he can transform too. Right. Oh God, that's the end. That is the end. Okay. We will talk about the episode in the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. Man, season two has been so good so far. It's like actually crazy. The past, like, I don't know, four episodes or something have all been like really good. So if we keep this quality up the whole time, how many episodes long is this season? I don't have all of it downloaded. I can't even check. I don't know, but man, very good so far. So, and it feels like I don't know, we got a lot more to go. So, because we're kind of still just in like the setting up all of this problems phase, right? Like with Betty and all of this, right? So, man, I'm sure it'll be even more satisfying once they're actually addressed. Anyway, so let's talk about Beatrice, shall we? So, what is up with her, right? Okay, what did we know about her before this episode, right? I think a defining moment for her was in the oh god, what was that? Memory Snow was in Memory Snow when there's a big kind of a big part of that OVA to me was Betty's refusal to like take part in like just all the, good fun times they were having, right? She she is so she isolates herself. She seems to not want to like, I don't know, what, be open to her own emotions, I guess. She doesn't want to be connected to other people, right? She seems very resistant to all of that, right? Um and that's kind of always been a thing with her, right? The only time that something significant beyond that has happened has been, let's see here, a few arcs ago, near the beginning, when Subaru kept dying in the mansion, all of this, the episode where Rem died, right, and Betty formed that contract with him to protect him, right? That was interesting. That's very interesting with this all of this information in mind too, because as she says in the scene in a minute, she says everything that she does is in accordance with the gospel, which for one is fucking crazy. Because, like, I thought the gospel was like a crazy witch cultist thing, right? But everything she's doing is because of the gospel? Like, what? Like, is she part of the gospel? You know what I mean? Like, there's this book that says, oh, Beatrice did X, Y, and Z, and then she goes and does X, Y, and Z because the gospel says that that's what she's gonna do or is supposed to do. Like I guess I don't know how else you would use the god like unless Beatrice is someone whose actions are predetermined or at least pre-prophesized in the gospel. How do you even follow what the gospel says to do? You know what I mean? I guess it depends on what the structure of the book is, right? But she's following all this shit through the gospel, which is insane. Um, it's hard to like wrap your head around that, right? Because she made that contract with Subaru in that, whatever arc that was, like the second arc, I guess. And yeah, that was a very different thing for her to do, right? And like, what does the gospel say? Oh, if this happens, you will do this. You will form a contract with Subaru, do all of this stuff, right? And then so like that was accounted for in the gospel as well, or like maybe, right? I guess that's possible. But it would seem like if her actions are truly all just doing what the gospel says, then she would never do things differently. And she does do things differently, right? So it's very interesting. Another thing is just if she follows the gospel so closely, if the gospel is so important to her, I don't know, that just really makes you think about like what she thinks of Subaru, right? For one, it really makes you think, again, there was the weird shit with pride in Subaru that Pedal Geese would talk about, right? The idea of Subaru being pride. I wonder if Beatrice, if she's a gospel lover too, if she also thinks something about that, right? Because there's obviously she does have a connection to Subaru in some sense. I don't know if I want to say that has anything to do with the gospel or if that's something against her whole mindset here, right? Like her connection to Subaru is something more genuine, and obviously she's using the gospel essentially as an excuse to like say that all of her actions and emotions and not all of it has no meaning, right? Hmm. And like, yeah, just like when she says things like this, right? She doesn't want to give a meaning behind any of her actions. Like, what is she? I mean, there's so much stuff you could say could create behavior like this in a person, right? Like, what she's afraid of acting on her own. She is afraid of her emotions and being connected to other people. I don't know. There's just so much stuff you could say could be like the root cause behind her deciding to act like this, right? Like no, but it makes sense why she has this kind of attitude, why she says things like this all the time, why she gives like a non-answer, why she doesn't like explain her motivations behind anything, because she at least thinks that everything she does is because of the gospel, right? Or at least, I mean, I guess she uses the gospel in order to what? Not have to make decisions herself, not become emotionally attached and connected to people. I don't know. I don't know. Why should I have done that? Why should I have to do that? I haven't a single reason to save anyone. This is what I mean. Like it just seems like to me it's something she's using in order to not become emotionally connected to others, right? Like she instead of like because the obvious reason for why she would have to save people is because oh they're people and you should care about them to not let them die, right? Like but if that's what she's rejecting, if what she wants to reject is that emotional connection that she has to like Ram or Rem, for example, I guess she forgot Ram. But Ram would be the most obvious one, right? She knows her, she's been in the mansion. Yeah, her reason for wanting to save her is, oh, she's your buddy, right? But she's like rejecting that as an idea, right? She's saying, oh, I don't have a reason to do that because it's not written down here, you know? Hmm. God, everything might be ruined now because of you, and this horrible series of events will be set in stone. Yeah, no, that actually is just from Subaru's perspective, I guess from our perspective too. I mean, we don't know what causes the reset points, right? Like for all he knows, a reset point could be updated and then he's just screwed, right? I mean, that literally happened at the start of this season, right, with Rem. So because, like, if it was up to Subaru, he would have gone back to save Ren, right? But he couldn't do that, because the respawn point updated, there's nothing he could do. Imagine if that happened right now, right? His life would be over, Like, and she just says she doesn't understand. It's very, I don't know. Hmm, she doesn't understand. I wonder what she means. I don't know. Oh no, is that Subaru saying that? Well, her mouth opened. Who said that? No, she said I don't understand. Yeah, so I wonder what she means by I don't understand exactly, right? Like, hmm, Subaru's attachment to people around him, maybe, right? Like, I don't know, right? Because it seems like maybe that's her thing, right? Is she willingly, it seems like, does detach herself or prevent herself from becoming attached from the people around her, right? In Memory Snow, she very willfully decided to like not engage with everyone and to just, be so disconnected from them all, you know? So is that essentially like, is she afraid of that kind of connection with the world around her, essentially, right? Because I mean that's what she does. She sits in the library all day alone and does nothing, right? So I mean, I don't know. It's interesting, of course, that the one person she does have a deep connection to is Puck, right? Um, I wonder what makes Puck different. Rosewall too. She certainly has some kind of relationship with Rosewall. Unclear. It's certainly not like her relationship with Puck, right? What makes Puck special? You know? Because I imagine her saying she doesn't understand, right? Because right now, what is Subaru doing, right? He's allowing himself, I guess, from her point of view, you could say, to be hurt so much by all of this stuff happening around him, by people dying, all of this stuff, you know. And I think that's what she's trying to avoid, you know, like for herself, right? But she doesn't want him to kill himself. I wonder why, right? Like, I understand, of course, that for one, it is interesting, of course. Subaru is one of the only people who has tried to break her out of her shell, right? He has came and talked to her a bunch of times for help, all of this. It would be really hard in my mind to try and piece together the timeline and know what of those events actually ended up happening from her point of view, right? But Subaru has tried to do that with her, right? So I understand she could literally just be attached to Subaru in some way like that, and that's why she doesn't want him to kill himself, right? It doesn't have to be something deeper than that, and that would make sense. And there's the gospel. So for one, this makes you wonder, what is the gospel, right? Like, what is it? What's the point? What, like, who wrote it? Where does it, how does it work, right? I guess you don't have to literally be a witch cultist to like have it, I guess, because I don't think, certainly don't think Betty is, right? I mean that would be a little bit too far in my mind. Hmm. But it's like what? She wants the book to essentially just be a guide for her life, right? That she can, it's kind of just this ultimate form of detaching herself from everything about her life, all of her decisions and everything. She just says everything she does, everything she feels, everything just goes down to the gospel. She just does what the gospel says and that's it, right? It lets her be completely detached from everything. And I imagine what she's really scared of is the pain that comes from attaching yourself to things, you know? The same pain that Subaru is experiencing so much all the time, right? Hmm. Everything I do is in accordance with the gospel's guidance. That is the meaning of my life, that is the purpose of my existence. I just wonder, it's like I wonder if there's something with her nature as a spirit involved in here too, right? Like, I don't know. We just don't know so much about that kind of thing, right? Did you try to save me because the book told you to? When you saved me after I'd been cursed? And when you helped me when I couldn't even stand up? And when we goofed off, yelled at each other, acted like bros together? All of that, right? Yes, no, like, obviously that isn't all because of the gospel, right? Like, this is her, it's like Subaru has been, like, almost trying to break that illusion, almost, right? The idea that all of her actions, all of her feelings and everything could be because of the gospel, right? I don't believe that for a second that she's been an entirely fake person who doesn't actually feel anything, right? Her reaction to seeing Subaru die proves that enough, right? So, but I understand, of course, why she would have this violent reaction to it, right? If that's what she's trying to avoid, and Subaru represents, like, almost breaking her shell in that case, well, I think she wants her shell to be maintained, you know? Like, so of course she's gonna deny all of it, right? And just say it's all because of the book. Yeah. Yeah, if you ever could have moved my heart on your own, yeah. She wants to reject that as much as possible. Everything I do is for Mother. What could that mean? I don't know. The mother of all of the spirits or something? God? I don't know. Just a human. She kind of just goes back. She just goes back to like the most basic thing possible, right? She retreats all the way to just saying, "Oh, Subaru, you're just a lowly human," you know, like just this. It doesn't really mean anything, I think, right? It's just this stupid insult to say to him to like try and act like she's so different from him and he means nothing to her, you know. Just very defensive about it, obviously. Here's Elsa, who immediately kills Subaru and doesn't kill Beatrice, which I imagine that's her job, right? Of course, I mean, if this is all orchestrated by Rosewall, obviously, he wouldn't want Elsa to kill Beatrice, I'm sure, right? Of course, I mean, it depends how much knowledge Rosewall has about Return by Death, right? Of course, of course. So we wake up yet again, and man, it is going to be rough for Subaru to maintain the emotional reaction he needs to have for Amelia in this moment every time he wakes up, you know? Like, God, he's just back in it immediately. It's gonna be so hard for him to be, like, genuine. I guess we talk about this with Odo later, right? This idea of rationality, and being calm versus, like, I guess in my mind, like, being detached, right? It's gonna be so hard for him to, like, meaningfully engage emotionally with all of these things over and over and over again, right? Especially so hard right when he wakes up, he's thrown into this situation, you know? Where he has to comfort Amelia, he has to do his best, you know? Hmm. Of course Amelia apologizes. The fucking Amelia special. Hmm. God, that's sad, right? That he says, just rest for tonight, we can talk tomorrow, and then he's fucking gone. He disappears. Never got to have that talk, huh? God, yeah, she holds the necklace. She was calling for Puck on the floor in the trial, right? Because where the hell is Puck? And I mean, it makes you think, right? Puck, I don't know. Is Puck part of all of this? Is this all? I don't know. There's a lot we still don't know about Puck, right? We know he has a connection with Echidna. Gotta make sure I ask him about Beatrice this time, since I couldn't last time. Sure, it doesn't get the opportunity to do that either. Oto comes up and talks to him about, yeah, about all this stuff, about him being so calm, right? And yeah, it's very relevant, right? Because it's interesting too, because I feel like that is what Amelia kind of needs in a sense, is emotional support from people around her. I think where we were going with this arc is that Amelia is going to succeed in the trial, right? I think that's kind of what she needs to do at this point, right? Um, that feels like it has been where her character has been leading for a while now, right? The idea of her meaningfully doing something for herself like this, right? Overcoming her past, I think it's very important for her. And for what she needs for that, I think, is emotional support from people who mean a lot to her, like Subaru, right? And it's gonna be really hard for Subaru to maintain that like emotional reaction and emotional openness to Amelia that she really needs experiencing all of this over and over again, you know? Like, because yeah, he is too calm, you know? He really is too calm. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Hmm. God, and he is being so open. God, Super gotta be careful about these things he says. Like, God. And yeah, Garfield is very aggressive, honestly. It makes sense why. He smells the witch thing on Subaru, right? It's just like with Rem in like the second arc, right? Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Gonna be so hard to like maintain a or try and rebuild that close relationship with Garfield he kind of had the first time, right? It's gonna be like impossible. It's gonna be very difficult. So Frederick had left the sanctuary. I wonder. It's we don't know much about Garfield and his thoughts on things, right? Haven't really gotten into that yet. But I just wonder. I wonder if Garfield feels abandoned by Frederica as well, right? Probably, right? I mean, she did leave him here. She did just leave the sanctuary, right? So in a sense, I can understand him feeling abandoned, right? Um, I don't know. I wonder how much that explains like his animosity towards her. Hmm. So we got here. Meet Ryuzu. So I don't know. Am I thinking too much about this whole Ryuzu, the different color dress thing? I don't know if it means anything. But it just I the only reason I think it might is because the first time we saw her was the weird like almost like vision it felt like Subaru had of her in the woods. Um, after he teleported the blue necklace, right? Before he saw Echidna, right? And she had this dress on then, right? And she's been wearing the different one the other times, like when she's been talking to Subaru at the house, right? So I don't know if that actually means anything or not. But then I guess I just don't know what to make of that first like sighting he had of her. after he teleported, you know? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. So, Frederica is quarter blood. Her father is different from Garfield. They're only half siblings, right? So, for one, we bring up this idea of Amelia not undergoing the trial, right? Subaru doesn't want Amelia to go through it. And again, I just can't help but think of all of the times in this story beforehand where it feels like Amelia has been denied the ability to undergo things like this herself, right? Um, Maybe not really directly denied it by like other characters, but it's just the opportunity to do so hasn't really come up for her, right? Um, the ability to address so many things, so many difficult things about her past and about herself that I really think would be good for her to address, right? And it seems like this is it. It seems like this is what we need to do, you know? And I don't think the answer is for Amelia to for Subaru to just do it instead of her, you know? I think that would really hurt her, if anything, right? We already saw what her reaction was to the idea of Subaru saying that he's just going to do it instead, you know? Because I think the idea of her overcoming her past, um, I think that's pretty meaningful to her as a character, right? Like that sounds good to me, right? So, hmm, it's almost like a test for Subaru to be able to like trust Amelia enough. Frankly, it kind of does go down to that. To trust Amelia enough to be able to withstand this pain, right? To I guess it's not just trust, but it's about Subaru also, you know, he always wants to prevent people around him from being hurt like this, right? Because Return by Death gives him the ability to do that, you know? So of course, this to him, he doesn't see it as any different, but I think experiencing the pain that it takes to overcome something like this is important for Amelia. And I think Subaru is the one who needs to like realize that, right? Like yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, it's also possible that Amelia going through this trial and undergoing this is somehow part of Roswell's plan, but I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, right? I think it still would be a good thing for Amelia to do, right? And I mean, Subaru says he's not saying she should run away from it. May not be now, but Amelia will eventually have to face her past. I don't know. It just seems like we're just putting it off later, and I just don't see why it would be any different than now, right? I don't see why if Subaru's reason for not wanting her to face her past is he doesn't want to see her get hurt, from the pain that it's obviously inflicting on her. I don't see why that's going to be any different in the future, right? This really just seems like a cop out, essentially. You know, I don't think he's really being genuine here. Hmm. But not from the things that will hurt her the most. She'll beat it without running away. I have complete faith that the girl I fell for can pull that off. And I agree. I believe that Amelia can do it. I'm positive Amelia can do it. Of course she can, right? Um, but I don't think the answer is to just put it off, right? I really don't think so. Tell him it's just like a gadgy Guadzaad trying to hide in the mountains. You know, Garfield, you really do have a way with words, right? That's really I hadn't thought of it like that, but since you said it like that, that really changes my perspective of the whole situation. So, thank you. There's no convenient path by which to escape. This line definitely has some meaning to it, right? No convenient path by which to escape. It really just seems like that's kind of what we're doing here, right? This arc has kind of been about that already, right? Facing things that you can't escape, right? For Amelia, it's her past. For Subaru, it's Rim's situation. It's probably some other things, right? But I don't know. The idea of facing inevitability, essentially, right? That seems to be that's kind of the vibe I get from this line, and that seems to be connected to things we've already done in this season, right? It's very relevant to Return by Death, of course, right? We've talked about that before, how he it's like Return by Death feels like a cheat code to avoid things that would be otherwise inevitable, but you can't do everything perfectly, right? That's an unrealistic expectation that you could worry that Return by Death would give Subaru, right? Hmm. So yeah, so Frederica is only quarter blood. It's funny because she looks exactly like Garfield. But yeah, they're only half siblings. Frederica abandoned this place. Yeah. Hmm. I'm on my way to get Rosewall and Amelia on board with this, but it's really important and I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't tell anyone. Yeah, undergoing it himself. But that's just not gonna happen, right? No. Nope. They, very suspicious of him, so. No chance. No way. And of course, I mean, we kind of just talked about it, right? Not gonna happen. No way. I don't think it would be a good thing for Subaru to do that. So, yeah. They lock Subaru up. Kind of the most torturous thing possible for this, right? Yeah, we talked about this, right? The witch's scent on Subaru. Of course, it's gonna make Garfield not trust him, obviously. And Subaru must just seem so suspicious, right? Like, he's not doing a good job of not seeming suspicious. He kind of always does this in a way. but yeah, like, man. Also, of course, it makes you wonder if Garfield himself has some kind of history with the witch's cult. Seems like a lot of people in this world do, of course, right? But I don't know. He does have a very violent reaction to the idea of Subaru being involved with it in any way, right? Which probably makes sense, but... Your eyes look just like that Rosewall bastard's eyes. Yeah, no, that makes so much sense, because Rosewall is always planning crazy shit all the time, and is kind of the mastermind behind so much stuff. Subaru is kind of similar, in a sense, right? He is always planning things, and I think Return by Death does kind of lead him to start viewing people as just, like, people to manipulate, almost, and like in a maybe not as extreme as that, right? But like think about what he said about Garfield earlier in this episode, right? When he said like, "Oh, you're not someone to follow strict patterns or whatever," you know. It's such a weird way to think about other people, you know. So a comparison between Subaru and Rosewall is, and they're both like conniving and planning things. No, I mean that makes so much sense, you know. It's like they just view people as like pieces on a chessboard, you know? I don't think it's that it's extreme for Subaru, but I think it's easy for him to fall into that kind of mindset, you know? So Subaru's locked away, and they tell him that he's gone, right? Or they tell everyone that he's gone, and yeah, he tries to convince Oto, but of course, man, I should have believed in Oto, honestly. I thought he'd give in to whatever this represented. I guess it was like, it kind of was a bribe, kind of was a threat, kind of both, you know? But Oto is his friend. God, we need friends. Hmm. He thinks about Beatrice. Man. Yeah. What do we do about her? Is she the key to all of this? What do we do? What do we do about her? I don't know. I don't know. God, and he is just fucking stuck in here for like 3 days, which is just torturous and horrible. He gets fed, yeah, like keeping him alive, the worst thing possible in this situation, honestly. Like, ah, man. So Oto shows up to free him. Thank God. Thank God. Fills him in on everything that has happened. Amelia, I don't know. I like Amelia declined on attempting the trial, which I think is important. I think it shows that, like, you know, something needs to change for Amelia to be able to go through the trial. And I don't think the answer is just, oh, she has to do it a million times, right? I think she needs support of the people around her, maybe in some unique way. She needs to learn something. Something needs to change in her mind to truly be able to face it, right? Not that she can definitely do it, right? Just Amelia is like the key to this as well, right? We got to do something to help her, and like, you know, but and yeah, of course she's increasingly despondent, right? She doesn't have Subaru, she doesn't have the support of the people she cares about to help her, right? Like, of course, yeah, she doesn't have Puck, she doesn't have Subaru, she doesn't have anyone now, right? Without that Subaru there. And yeah, Oto's a fucking homie. He's doing everything. He didn't give in. And I think so for one, okay, so Subaru's reaction to all of this makes a lot of sense when you think about it, right? Like, he says, I can't see why you would help me, right? He's immediately, like, suspicious of Oto, honestly, right? Like, he just doesn't, I don't know, he falls into this line of thinking so easily, right? I think it is related to the reason why Garfield said that thing about his eyes being like rose walls, you know? Um, Subaru is always thinking about other people in this weird way, right? He always has all this stuff going on where he essentially feels like he has to like almost emotionally manipulate people to get what he wants, right? Like he's not really thinking of it like that, right? He certainly doesn't have the upper hand in the situation, right? So it's like calling it manipulative, maybe that's the wrong word, right? But having a relationship like this one with Otto, where he doesn't have to think all of this crazy shit all the time, like he has been with Garfield, um, about like, oh, what do I do to get them to react like this, right? Or like in the second arc when he's trying to convince Rim to not kill him, right? He doesn't have to do that with Otto, right? Otto, he can just have a friend, he can just have a buddy, he can just have a pal, right? It's awesome, it's great. He hasn't had this at all, right? It has to be so hard for him to view another person like this, who it truly is just stress free, and it's just someone he doesn't have to think these crazy things about, you know? Because Oto's just his buddy, and he doesn't have to worry about like all of these effects of Return by Death and like the way he's like doing, you know, all of this stuff, you know? Because with every other character, it really is like that, right? Amelia, yes, he has a very close relationship with Amelia, but you can't just call it a friendship. It's different than that. Rem, different than that. Ram, it's different than that, right? It's I don't know. It's just not the same, right? Um, but no, but Otto, he can just have a pal, right? It's great. It's awesome, right? He can have someone he can just rely on, like throughout his Return by Death retries that he just knows is his buddy, you know? And he doesn't, you know, like just a stress-free relationship where he doesn't have to worry about fulfilling some purpose or being someone or doing something, you know? It's like he hasn't had that the whole fucking time he has been here, you know? Like, God, it's perfect. God, I love it. It's great. I don't know who this buddy guy is. Yeah, that's a good one, Subaru. Man, he's just so shell-shocked by it, right? Because he just can't imagine it, you know? Because I guess in a sense it's like kind of this nonchalant like acceptance of him as just a friend is something that must be hard for Subaru to like accept, you know? Because it's like he has had to work so hard for everything he's had in this world, you know? That just someone like Otto, where he's just his buddy, it's like it's man, yeah, no, it has to be hard to wrap his head around it, you know? Man. It's great. I love it. I love it. And he laughs so much. I think it's just I don't know, it's like a release of tension, honestly. You know? Like man. No, it's great. I love it. Otto's my favorite character now. So friend. Beautiful, beautiful. And it's just what I love about it is it's something I hadn't even thought about before this episode really either, you know? It's just really, it just wasn't something, I don't know, something I've really never thought about. But no, I love it. It's great. It is great. Hmm. So, we're getting Subaru out of the barrier. Because we got a little helper. It's Ram, of course, of course. Has weird, sarcastic things to say as always. She's so man. Subaru could learn a lesson or two from her, from how confident she is in herself. And Garfield is fucking pissed. Jesus, he is mad. He's so mad he turns into a furry. Like, God, I hope I'm never that angry. But yeah, Garfield can do it too, just like Frederica. Not surprised. I wonder if it's different than Frederica, because she is only a quarter and he's half, right? I don't know. I'm curious. He certainly is going to be pretty scary, though. I am worried about him murdering us, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, I just another fucking crazy good episode of ReZero. Man, this has been a good season. Um, yeah, I guess that's it. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Subscribe, please, if you enjoy my videos, and I will see you in the next one.